What's going on, family? This is the Knuckleheads podcast, and today I will be interviewing the Knuckleheads. How ironic is that? So, what's going on, my brothers? How y'all feeling?
What's going on, man?
Thank you. I can't complain. I appreciate life.
Yeah, man. Thank you for joining the platform.
Man, thank you guys for having me. I'm honored to actually be in this position, knowing all the connects that you guys know and all the things that you guys know. So, let's get right into it. We're gonna recap season 1 and season 2. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So season 1, how was it? Well, what got you guys started and what inspired this podcast, first off?
What got us started is Starbucks. A phone call. Let's meet at Starbucks. No computers. Pen and pad. Windy. Sat at the outside table, not inside table, and had a conversation. And from there, it was game time.
Game time, huh?
It was game time.
Man, that's phenomenal. And then ever since then, like, did you guys see the vision getting to where you going now? Did you already see that prior to where you're at right now?
That's a great question. I think, yeah. So initially, like you said, we started at Starbucks. We had a vision. It was a vision that came to us. Long story short, we had already, myself, Malcolm, we have a personal relationship. You can attest this as well. We were already in circles where we were bridging that gap, right? We knew a lot of entrepreneurs. We had different strong upbringings where, you were dealing with the 99% of the people who, are working these 9 to 5, busting themselves, trying to make a way, trying to have something for their kids. But we knew that there was a need. I did some research that Malcolm would hate this. I'm a numbers guy. I look at the numbers strategically all day long. But long story short, we felt like there was a need. We did our research. We seen that in the space, and especially in business, there's not a lot of avenues for people that have similar backgrounds that want to transition into that 99%. We're fortunate that we know so many entrepreneurs. The average person probably doesn't, right? So the question becomes, how do we grasp that knowledge from those one percenters and make it relatable to the 99%? In the hopes that having these conversations, these dialogues will help bridge that gap so that we can create more one percenters.
Wow.
I want to add to that, man. I feel like the reason why we mesh so well, and I know that wasn't a question, is that, like, yeah, he is a numbers guy. I keep it G. I keep it 100. He's a numbers guy, and to a certain extent, I'm there, but I'm like, bro, all right, whatever. But I'm a behavioral person.
Absolutely.
Like, I pay attention to behaviors because my whole life I had to coach people according to behaviors. Behaviors create numbers. So we a lot of people look at it from this angle, the camera angle, and be like, oh, they do well, which we do, but they don't see no back end way. I'm coming from a behavioral side, and he's coming from a number side, and we mesh. We be like, bro, what's up? But then at the end, we be like, all right, this makes sense, bro. If you can find someone that is not you, and that can complement you, man, you in season 3.
Yeah, talk about it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's awesome. Man, that's amazing. So what it sounds like is this podcast is extremely needed, right? Yeah. You guys are literally bridging the gap, the wealth gap, and building wealth in the process. So let's talk about season 1. What were some of your favorite, episodes or some of the favorite things that you did in season 1 that was like, wow, this is incredible?
My favorite was getting out the muscle. I'm a firm believer of, hey man, we don't need no fancy camera. We don't need this. We got, hey, if it's an iPhone 8, let's run with it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
If we do it, we gonna get there. So my favorite moment is being in the apartment, pulling up, recording 2 to 3 episodes, setting up certain sceneries where it looks decent enough, and trying to bro, people don't know we had books and certain things stacked up so the camera can be high enough for him and not me, but for him. You know what I'm saying? We did a lot, but nobody. And come to find, we end up having to cut all the video footage and do the audio.
Yeah.
Because of that, but the grind in season 1.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that it was a learning experience.
That's the best part.
You guys embraced the process, not
Yeah.
just the end result, right?
Yeah.
Not just where
That's
you
the
are.
best. What do you think? Hey, what do you?
Nah, man. Listen,
What do
man.
you think?
You know what? This podcast, it was therapy for me. You know, because I was going through a lot of challenges in my personal life as well, and you know, you and Malcolm have been great friends of mine, and I felt like, you know, at that moment God was calling me to go in this direction, and I think, like he said, man, in the apartment, I'm talking about. First, and it was our season to learn. I think you have different seasons in your life where you learn, you earn, and you grow. Denzel Washington said it best. So I think that was our season to learn. You know, get our chemistry right. Hey, what is your perspective on this? Oh, okay. What's your rhythm? We got to the point where at this point we flawless. Like it's interesting because most of the people we interview like, man, y'all chemistry like. How long y'all been doing this? You would think we've been doing this for years, the way our chemistry is, but obviously, you know, we have our own personal relationship off the screen, but I think that added a whole nother dynamic when it was like, okay, Malcolm's gonna take this point, but he's gonna take in this direction. I can go this way, and it's like building a marriage. You know what I mean? You understand the characteristics. You understand where you can step in and add your complementary piece, and where they can step in and add your complementary piece, and it works as a whole. You know, that synergy.
Exactly. Yeah, that synergy create that third idea, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I'm hearing, it sounds like you guys created this thing from the ground up. Y'all both embracing different angles, and you're able to bring the information that maybe somebody would have never heard to their ears to change their lives.
Knowledge is power, man.
I think just that statement in general, that movement, because it's not just a podcast. This is a movement,
Right.
Yeah.
right? So you got to really understand, like, man, what y'all doing, man, hats off to you guys, seriously.
Salute.
Like from the first season and going through all those changes and the struggles of stacking the books and everything like that.
Humble beginnings.
Like, what would you say to somebody out there who's like, man, I want to start something, but I don't want to go through that ugly phase.
You want me to start and you end it off?
You go ahead, man.
Listen, I'm gonna be quite honest.
He got mad.
Yeah.
Thought about a few people.
Number one, I would say don't run from it because it's inevitable. You have to go through it. In order to be able to get to the point where you're operating at a high level, you have to go through those struggles, that learning curve. You know, whether it's in corporate America, whether it's starting your own business, whether it's doing the podcast, you have to go through some sort of learning curve. And the reason why that part is so important is you're gonna learn things during that phase that's gonna benefit you now. Right, like we're at a point now. I know what angles look like. I know what B-roll is. I know what A-roll footage is. I know what filter is I'm looking for. I know what templates and things like that I want to use if I want to spike engagement. But I wouldn't have had that knowledge had I not gone through that early learning phase. So I would say embrace that. Don't run from it, and most importantly, welcome it because what you learn in the grind is gonna help you shine. For sure.
Sir. Yes, sir. What you learn in the grind is gonna help you shine.
Yes, sir.
Y'all heard it here first.
I'm quoting that. You got to pay me. I'm trademarking that. That was good. Thank you, God.
Yes, sir. What about you, Brother Malk?
I don't know if I can follow that one, but honestly, I feel, and I'm trying to make sure I say it right. I feel at the end of the day, those that want that popcorn success to jump and be like, oh, I'm here, they're the ones that fail within the next 90 days. Yeah. Like, you got to have it where you go through the grit, the grind, the hustle, the tears, and everything. That's when you get to that next level, the conversation is different. It's too many people, they're like, oh, man. Like, I have friends that do podcasts themselves, right? Oh, you guys need to do this. But then I sit back and like, bro, like, or sis, you've been doing it 3 years before us. And the rate we're at is a whole nother conversation.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know, like,
yeah,
man, it frustrates me because everybody wants it so fast. And it's not one of those things. You got to go through the hell. You got to go through the hell.
What do you think that you think social media has a influence in that, or like the society that we living in today?
The funny thing is, social media does have an influence in that. But the people that be putting that influence either not doing it or they painting that picture just to get your money. Like they're not telling you what it is. They're not telling you what it is. They're not doing it and they're just putting out a persona of, oh, I'm doing this to get your money, or they went through it. They won't tell you what they went through. They won't give you the full process. They just, oh, you can do this in 2 days, and now you paying 5 bands, 3 bands, and they racking up. They living in mansions while you barely making it. You struggling,
selling the dream.
Yeah, like bro, you not finna walk. Matter of fact, you're not gonna get to the refrigerator without walking to the refrigerator. You still got to get up and do something.
Talk to him now,
bro.
Yeah, faith with work without faith. I mean, what was it? Faith without work is dead. It's a true statement. I mean, like I said, like you said, just to add another caveat to that, like, man, I'm appreciative because I mean I learned so much. Like you said, the grind. Like you said, our season 1, we didn't even have video. Like we thought we had an editor that could help. Didn't work out, and now it's like, okay, how you gonna pivot? Then when we went straight to just audio, then from audio, and that's what I loved about. That's what I like about our story and our journey so far. There's a story behind it. Like if you go back, you can see us literally throwing our first event. Go to the Instagram page right now at KH_pod. But if you podcast, you can go there right now. You'll see us throwing our first event. Then you'll see us progress to, getting these visuals and getting these reels and stuff. It's a natural progression, but there's no cheat code. You got to put the time in, the work in.
Got to put the work in. I say it like this: reps, right? Only way you're gonna get great is reps.
Correct.
Repeated execution produces success.
Oh, say that again, man. I don't think
that's a bar.
Say that to the people in the back,
one more
man.
time. It's all about reps. If you want to be great at anything in life, right? Repeated execution produces success. And that's what these gentlemen are telling you guys today. It's like anything you want, anything you can have, it's out there for you to get it, but you got to take the steps towards it, right? Correct. God only takes steps towards people who take steps towards him. So that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah,
that's deep.
You mentioned events, brother.
Yeah.
Was I at that first event or no?
You sure was.
Okay,
definitely were.
Yes,
and that's where I would say, and I know this wasn't a question, where you gotta have a village, right? And not just a village in the sense of, because let's be honest here, we're all entrepreneurs in some sense. You know what I mean? Most of the time, the people closest to you are not going to be the ones to support you. But if you're lucky enough to come across, because we were all strangers at one point. If you're lucky and blessed enough to come across people that are different than you, but like-minded in the sense that they see what other people that are, like, it's people that are close in my family. We got blood, and they're like, you still? I'm like, yeah, because you don't understand the work that it took to get here. You just see me here, and you're like, oh man, we're so proud of you. But I got a village behind me, that were strangers at one point. I wouldn't be here without them. And shout out to the guys at Glencliff, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be here.
That village, man. Talk about that Glencliff village real quick.
Oh man, shout out to the boys, man. Shout out to the boys.
How impactful had that group been?
So, I always like to be on point and say it right. I love the crew. I'll put it that way. I love the crew. It's very diverse. It's very diverse.
Yeah.
I don't like what they call me, but it's very, very diverse.
Yes, sir. Yes. I mean, hey, sometimes that's needed. Diversity is needed, right?
It is very diverse.
Because we notice we go to the court all the time, and we do what we do, but people don't even tune into that. They don't even think of themselves as business owners. They may still be thinking, oh, I'm the 99%. I'm always be the 99%.
Right.
What did you guys say to that side of people?
So I like that you said that, because now I can go into with Glencliff. So with Glencliff, initially the idea, because I used to be there all the time, religiously all the time, hooping, meeting this person, and I realized that everyone's not like me, so I meet people where they are, right? So there's individuals that love working that 9 to 5, and that's okay. I meet them where they are, because now, all right, hey, I always be like, hey, I'm about to do this, or I'm about to go to Columbia, or I'm about to do this, and in a chat, Malcolm, he's about to do X, Y, and Z. Most people don't mention where they're going, but I do it on purpose, letting them know that there's another way on the other side.
It's levels.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And you can still do the 9 to 5, because I know I have close friends that do both and excel in both.
Yeah.
But make sure that you enjoy life. Make sure you do what you need to do. But Glencliff is one of those communities where we have both sides of it. People don't see what we see. They don't see what we see. But on the other end, they're comfortable and they're happy. So I don't go and push them to being me. I'll hit them up, and I'm gonna say it's JJ. JJ's my dog.
Yeah.
He just transitioned from one job to the next. Bro, I hit up JJ. Hey, how's it going? What's up? How you doing? How's that transition? What are they doing to you while you transition? Like, where's your mental? Like, I don't try to make you me, but I need you to be A1 in everything you do. And by that, you have people. I've seen people that left the 9 to 5 and now they over on this side of it. So
Yeah.
bro, that community. I mean that community is A1.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, that's wow, powerful. I mean, I hope you guys are really getting like the message, getting the meaning behind the knuckleheads. Like, it's not just about being a knucklehead where I'm out here, I'm silly. No, like, we really out here, we have real life experiences. These are real people telling you how you can get to that next level that you want to get to. So thank you again, guys, for this. Make sure if you guys haven't subscribed, go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow Knuckleheads on all social media platforms. I just want to throw this out there. This is not the end of the interview, but this is a powerful movement that I wanted to just throw it out there because these guys are doing something phenomenal, right? So,
what about you, man? Like,
JL the Genius.
Man.
Come on,
JL
man.
the Genius.
hey, man, you know,
Tell them what it is.
Let them know who. Listen, the Knucklehead podcast is set up for individuals to talk their ish.
Yeah.
you know, I got a little ish to talk.
Talk
you know,
your ish
so,
real quick. Talk your ish.
Yeah, man. So what I do is I help, coaches, consultants, anybody who want to be in the digital space, help you grow and scale your business, right? So I'm into automations. I'm into the funnels, things like that. And I do my thing a little different because I break it down, the complex things down to where people can understand it. So if you've never heard of a funnel before, just think about it as like a website, right? It's a simplified version of your website on steroids. So you driving in McDonald's, you hit the drive-through, man, I want a burger. That's all I want is just a burger, right? They say, oh, well, do you want to make this a meal? Yeah, let me add the fries and the drink, right? So you add the fries and the drink with it. All right, what about it? You got the kids at home. You want a kids meal? Yeah, let me get the son something. Let me get the wife something. You pull up. You thought you was gonna spend $5. You left spending $45, right? And so that's the concept of a funnel without you even understanding it and knowing it, right? So most business owners, they're leaving money on the table because they don't have certain things like that in place. It's just I'm selling one service. I'm selling the one product, and now you're just leaving yourself wide open.
Right.
To miss all of that money.
Right.
What if somebody wanted to buy something extra from you? I had a conversation with a lady like earlier this week. I'm like, okay, they buy your $500 course. What's next? Oh, I don't know. Well, what if somebody enjoyed it and they want to spend $5,000, $10,000 with you, but you don't have that product?
Right.
You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna go to somebody else and spend that money. Right. And so that's a little bit about what I do. And when I first met you guys, it was at an event.
Yeah. In Orlando.
It was at an event in Orlando, man. And I went with Brother Rick, and I'm like, man, these guys are some good, genuine people. Y'all play ball. I'm like, they got some similar qualities to me. Let me go ball with these dudes. When I first came out, I'm like, man, they about to be trash.
Yeah.
They from Florida. I'm thinking y'all like they ain't even
you end up being trash.
Yeah. So, hey man, clip that out, man. Clip that. I went out there, man, had a ball with my brothers, and then it's just been up ever since then, man. So I definitely appreciate y'all, man, because I need some kinship here, like family. I'm away from my family,
Right.
So coming here, y'all made me feel right at home.
Same here.
You know what I mean? So let's talk about, y'all impact of like how y'all think starting this movement and this podcast, how you think it's going to impact your families in the long haul?
Our families. Oh, that was deep.
That was super
You
deep.
got it, Quan.
Well, man, I'll tell you this, man. Being a new father, right, and understanding that journey, and being the father of my daughter, who's amazing. Shout out to Love Jones, love you, baby. I mean, this podcast was inspired a little bit from my interactions with her. I was like, man, I got a daughter, man. I want to make sure that she's secure. When we get old, she can say, man, my dad touched so many people's lives. He added so much value to so many people's lives. He helped change so many people's lives, including myself. Like, wow, I got to make sure his legacy lives on. And more importantly, that I'm at a place in my life, man. I just want to add value to people. You know what I mean? It's funny. me and Malcolm were in group chats all the time, right? Like, I think it might have been yesterday. I was like, man, we got this meeting. Can we do this meeting? Here go Malcolm. Now, we can't do that, man. We got to do this, and this. And he be right. I tell him that now. He be right. But he knows me. I'm like, man, I just want to help. Like, I'm a behind-the-scenes guy. Obviously, doing the podcast, I got to be in front of the camera. But, man, I just love connecting people, and I love helping people create opportunities, man. I mean, it's been such a blessing and a reward to see Malcolm on stage. And I'm telling you, me and this man fight like cat. This is my brother. I'm talking about. It's one of the things you ever text somebody and you're like, nah, let me take that back. I know where his heart is at. I got to take that back. That's my man. I know where his heart is.
Full message.
Full message. And he think he's slick. I done seen some of the full messages and they'll unsend them. I'm like, yeah. He did me a favor. But in all seriousness, I mean, like, having coming from New York, being from New York, and we didn't talk a lot about money, right? We didn't talk a little bit about what it looks like to be an entrepreneur or what it looks like to, create a business or run a successful business, right? A lot of things I had to go by trial and error. So my end goal for the podcast is to kind of shorten that turnover, right? If we start having these conversations in the home, we become that household name, which I know we're in the trajectory to be, more people will be insightful to say, hey, I just saw K's podcast. This person did this. They look like me. Or this person did this. Or they started this business. Or they started this brand. This is how they did it. And again, I think what makes it so unique, we don't just talk about the highs. We talk about the lows. So you see during our interviews the progression from how this person was, a nurse in the army, or how this person was put up for adoption, or how this person started out with nothing and went through all these challenges and got to the point where they're at, right? I think it adds so much value when people see not only the finished product, but they see the journey from beginning to end. So, long term, I don't know if that was a long-winded answer, but honestly, I want to change my family's life. I want to change everyone's life around me that I touch. I want to make sure my nephew, man, my uncle son, man, he could be like, man, look, man, my dad did that thing. Like, man, I didn't know who my dad was, even though he think like that now. But, even your son, Bam Bam, like, I want to make sure, like, when we get old and great, our legacies say, dang, man, our parents, like, they changed. They literally, like, I know everybody says that word generational curse and breaking it. That's cool for the clickbait and everything, but I want them to really actually see that their fathers really put in that work, not just for themselves, but to change other people's lives.
We doing the real work.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that. And I won't even go deep into it, but even just to touch what he said, a lot of people see their fathers that go to work and don't see them at all and be like, oh, my dad went to work to provide, and I get it.
Yeah.
But they never got that connection. Right. That connection. So I'm very big on that connection with my son. So there's times I'll be doing videos, motivational videos, and my son's sitting on the other side of the camera, just sitting there watching me. Mm-hmm. And I put him in that position. Yeah, hey, look at your miss whatever or whoever. Look at these things, but be on the other side because now you see daddy working. I'll be watching our podcast and he'll be looking at it just to be like, hey, I know you this age, but look, and come to find out, bro, like he'll be like, Dad, let's switch, and he'll jump in front of the camera, and he may not be, he should be saying whatever, but he's speaking into people, and you gotta do it in this, bro. That's why I do what I do. Yeah. I don't accept everything. Ask him. There's times I be like, nah, I ain't gonna meet up with them. Mm-hmm. I'll stay at the house. I'm good. I ain't gonna meet up. Yeah. I don't accept everything because it has to have something that goes aligned with my goal to make sure that he's good. He don't have my name for no reason. Hey, we got to go up. So if it's just something that, oh, we gonna do this, bro, I ain't gonna say no names, but there's things that he was like, hey, bro, we finna do this with these people, these people. Hey, bro, go do it on your own. I'll holler at you later.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a softy, man. I like to see everybody win, so I try to.
Not me.
Yeah, that's what you need too.
I love balance. Everybody to win, but then not up. Bro, I'm already short. My back not big. Like, what you gonna? Everybody on my back. Hey, I can't do it.
I feel you. That's
my
important.
My back already got 2 rods in it.
Yeah. You gotta set them boundaries.
They got to. Yeah, it's important.
But he's gotten good with it. Setting boundaries.
I'm training for life, man.
He's gotten good with it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
because think about it, bro. Your son and your daughter, they're going to value your time. They're not going to value the dollars you make today, they're going to value your time. Your time is going to equate to the wealth that you're going to bring. But that comes with time. You got to teach them. You can give them $1 million, $1 billion. That's cool.
Yeah.
But when they get to that age and we too old to be like whatever, and they don't know, what's the benefit when they just blow it?
Yeah.
So we got to teach them how to get there. We got to teach them boundaries and stuff. We don't teach them.
Now, to piggyback on what you're saying, did you guys come from that?
No.
Did you come from where your father or somebody that you knew, or
No.
they actually showed you how to do what you're doing?
They showed me to do what I was doing before I got to this point where I'm at in my life.
No.
I just wanted to be clear.
No, I think so. I will say this. I think for most young children, you have two ways to learn. You can either see what somebody's doing and replicate that, or you can see what somebody's doing and say, hey, I don't like the way that's going. I'm going to try to do my very best to do the opposite. And that's kind of the approach I took. You know, growing up in a single household with my mom, who did a phenomenal job. Like, me and my mom, she's going to be mad. We were in shelters when we were young. Like, me and my mom, that's my best friend. Like, we grew up together.
Yeah, me too.
You
bro.
know what I mean? So for me, it's like you go through these chapters in your life, and you're like, okay, well, I see this cousin doing that, and it's not even from a judgment perspective. It's more like, okay, I seen this person go this route, so I know what the end result is. That maybe I should pivot. You know, maybe let me try going to another city. Maybe try going to college. Maybe doing something that maybe start my own business, because I know that the other alternatives aren't going to help me. You know, so you really got to understand that.
So I'm gonna just say this.
Yeah.
One of the things I love that your mom did that you told me about, and this is for anyone that's watching. We all go through struggles.
Yeah.
Right. We all go through struggles. But there was a point in time when you talking shelter. He was like, bro, I didn't even know I was in the shelter.
Yeah.
Like the way my mom
did a
set it
phenomenal
up.
job.
Sometimes we go through hell and high water, and we take our kids through the same hell and high water, stress and everything, where they don't need that. So we need to allow them to understand that, hey, yes, this is where we are. Hey, yeah, you may have somebody that's laying next to you, but let's go ahead and have fun. Let me show you how to enjoy the moment. We put our kids through so much hell instead of embracing what they're going through. He didn't know he was in the shelter.
Then
He embraced the moment.
Back.
He
That's how
embraced
good
the
I had
moment.
it.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's
perfect.
different.
Yeah, it's definitely, that's where the love at. That's where the time come in.
Yeah.
And you don't understand that because your mom loved you so much that she didn't let you know y'all was struggling, and she let you be a kid.
Listen,
So that's powerful.
I didn't realize I was a teenager. She told me that we was in a shelter. I sat back at 15, 16. I said, we was in a shelter? She was like, man, we was in a shelter. But she said, and I never forget her words. She said, she said, I made a promise to myself when I went in there, my son was never going to feel that. And I never felt it. I didn't know until I was a teenager that I was in the shelter. And we was there for like I think a year or something like
Then
that.
imagine the stress on the parent.
Man, I can't
A lot of
imagine.
To not, to make you feel like you not there and she going through this.
Yeah, man.
That's like, man, that's like my biggest fear is to have to tell my son, no, you can't do that because daddy can't. I can't afford it, or I can't.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, nah, we can't get to that because I didn't come from it either.
Right.
Come from strong women,
And
I'm like, man, how do we build this foundation where we not starting from ground zero no more?
Mm-hmm.
So I will say this, and this is what, and I kind of translated into from season 1 to season 2. One of the things when I can't do something, and I tell my son, I don't tell him I can't. I'm like, hey, this is what daddy's going to do. We're going to work towards that goal that you're looking to accomplish. Oh, you want a dump truck? Hey, daddy, hey, how about this? Daddy, for the next 2 to 3 days, this is the goal. Daddy need to hit 25K. Daddy need to hit 50K in sales. Hey, matter of fact, let's call daddy, this person that worked for daddy. Hey, how you doing? All right, and I need you to, oh, daddy, I motivated them. All right, in 3 days, you're going to have your thing, but this is daddy's working towards it. So now it aligns him mentally. He'll be like, Dad, I want this. All right, did you empty the trash? Oh, yeah, I need to go work to get it. Like, I need to go grind to get it. And in season 1, we grind our butts off to get into the studio in season 2.
Yeah. I saw the growth.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, man, that's beautiful. So from season 1, before we get right to season 2, what was your favorite, like anything that was the most memorable from season 1?
That event,
That
I
event.
would say.
So
Oh, no, that wasn't season 1. That was season 2.
Nah, that was season.
Was it? No,
It was
season
going
two.
into season two.
Yeah.
It was going into season
Yeah, so
two.
doing the podcast, starting it, getting it from the ground up, and then going into that first event, man, that was just powerful because, like I said, and this was done. We spoke about this in the beginning of season 2. That was when I really felt like spiritually aligned with my brother. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we took a walk, man.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And it's one of those things where unless you went through it, you wouldn't even understand. We took a walk, man. It was nobody at this event. We nervous, like, damn, ain't nobody gonna come, man. We done spent all this money. We done did all this promo. Nobody came. And honestly, it was a great turnout for the first event that we did. And since then, we've only gotten better.
But then y'all went up like the sipping pain or what was it?
The connect with it was connect and play.
Yeah.
In season 2, and then we did the R&B Pain with a Twist, and that one did phenomenal. We talking commas now, different conversation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It was the first event. That event was more so. I feel so. I think we both do the same thing. I didn't know that, but we both went. Like I normally go for any event I do, I walk away from the event, and then I pray, and then I talk. I just get out of it in positive energy. And he was doing the same thing, so I was like, "Oh shoot!" Like, okay, say less. So then, bro, we walked the whole mall, and then we come back. We were like, boom. And then I'm gonna be real, it wasn't the number that we expected, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was the number that we needed because now that showed us that, hey, you're here. What are you gonna do about this? And we were able to help a small business within the mall at the same time. Selfie World, shout out to you guys, and help them generate traffic. But then our next event, we learned and connecting. Even though the paint and sip, I love it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with paint and sip. Shout out to y'all. My favorite event was Connect and Play.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Man, you ever took networking and changed the narrative of it? Like, you had people doing stuff that they did when they was kids and networking and building relationships. Oh, the conversation is different.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, my goodness.
Man.
Bro,
Really
we was musical chairs.
Yeah.
Red light, green light, stop.
Yeah. It was going.
Bro,
Yeah, it was fun.
And connect and speakers and everything.
So
Wait to Connect and Play too.
Yeah.
what did you guys learn from running the first event to transitioning and not having the traffic that you wanted to growing to having numbers at your events? What did you learn in that process?
I would say making sure that we delegate, hold those that are going to be a part of the community or the event accountable.
Yeah.
Holding them accountable.
Nothing to add on that.
Because if we're going to bring people, the goal as a speaker is for you to bring people as well. Mm-hmm. So hold them accountable to what they do. Now we have it to a point where what you showed us in 1, 2, and 3, if it doesn't align with what we want, we won't see you in 4.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Talk to him.
Yeah.
We won't see you.
We've turned down a lot of stuff, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We've turned stuff down more than we've accepted stuff. It's gotten to that point where it's because it's like, I know my work ethic. I know my brother's work ethic. If you ain't matching that energy, we can't even, it's not going to work. You get what I'm saying?
Now, my question for y'all is,
Yeah.
do you think because you turned things down that has allowed you to open up for better opportunities?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Even biblical, I mean, there's individuals that didn't deal with everybody. Mm-hmm. They dealt with certain, like, at the end of the day, and I don't mean to go in the Bible, but when he told Peter, right, to walk on water, there's a lot of people that probably looked at Peter and said, bro, you tripping.
Yeah.
Bro, even now, bro, I'm still walking on water. I ain't on land yet. I'm still walking by faith. And if you can't believe with me, because I'm a visionary, I'm an executor, but I see the vision. If you can't walk by faith with me, and yeah, we're going to fight, yeah, we're going to argue or whatever, but if you can't go out here on a limb, I don't need you out here, because the goal is to, bro, every event we did has exceed, the numbers have gone up. Nothing opposite, up. And people are reaching out left and right. And that's basically just, bro, we are on water.
That's amazing, brother. And so let me ask you guys this. So season 2, right? Just, the last season you just completed. What, if you could say one word to describe that season, what would it be?
Transition. I think season 1 was the grind. I think season 2 was the transition. I think season 2 is where we really. I think season 1 was about development and getting it out there. Season 2 was about perfecting the craft. And I think we did a great job transitioning from learning to perfecting the craft, from our cadence to our chemistry to bringing someone on to getting, additional footage and different things like that, and all the other components that come in with running a successful brand. I think that's where we transition into.
I love that you said that, but explain the difference. What's the difference between developing and perfecting your craft?
So developing, I would say, is you're starting from scratch, right? So that's where all the mistakes come in. That's where you're trying to see what's your angle, what's your lane, where you excel, where you're good at, where you're not good at, where your co-host is good at, where they're good at, what angles look good on you, things like that. Understanding, and that's where understanding what you're doing comes into place, right? People don't do enough time saying, what is my goal here? What is my message here? Who am I trying to reach? What is the goal? When you transition to perfecting your craft, you have the goal in mind. Now it's just about critiquing to the point where it seems seamless. You don't understand how many times people will be like, man, y'all got great chemistry. They think this came overnight. And I tell people, we spent 6 months, almost to a year, of just filming with no audience, no cameras, one iPhone, this one actually in particular, just recording us. Like, it took that to get here, where we're in the studio, where we can talk and have a conversation, and I know where Malcolm is taking the conversation, or he know where I'm going with the conversation. You know what I mean? And you know us personally, so we know where you're going to take the conversation. But you build that over time. That's where that perfecting the craft comes in.
And they don't see that. They say, "Oh, overnight success."
Yeah, no.
But they don't see the work and the tears and the long
conversations,
nights, early the conversations, everything. They don't see everything that's behind that, right? So, as far as them not seeing the back end of that. Should they have expectations, or should they just come in and just go?
In what regards?
In regards to what do I have to do? What's my total output? Like, should I want to, like, for example, if I wanted to make $10,000,
yes,
should I focus on the $10,000 more than I should focus on me grinding? No,
because that's a principle I live by. You don't chase money, you chase value. Because the thing with chasing money is it's always going to outrun you. You literally in the phrase, you're behind. If you're chasing something, that means you're typically behind it, correct? Right? So understanding that, I think it's important to develop your craft and add. Molly, you like that one?
Yes, sir.
God gave me that one like 2 weeks ago. But I say that to say this, that when you're adding value, you're hoping to change someone's life. When you're chasing money, you're hoping to just benefit from it. But if I act like a good mentor of mine, Myron Gore, he always gave me this analogy, man. If you gave me $1 and I flipped that and gave you 10, would you take that deal? Like, you gave me $10 and I flipped it to 100, would you take that deal? So that means that every dollar you give me, I'm adding more value in it. So you're always gonna want to do business with, have a relationship with me. 100%. And that's what people misconceive. They're chasing the money. Don't chase money, chase value. Focus so much on solving a problem or bringing value to someone to change their life, money is going to follow you. Trust me, people out here getting checks every day, and I promise you, they're not focused on the money aspect, right? You're focused on the value. The money's going to come. And the thing about it is, if you do that, that means your value can't be bought. Your integrity can't be bought if you come in with value. So that's all I say. I don't know. I don't want to give a long answer.
You got anything to add to that, Mark?
Hey, man. So I won't add much to it. I'll just say I like that because exactly what he said, when you chase money, you're behind it and you're running after it. And that's a lot of people on social media, the YouTube and all those gurus. But when you lead with a value, the money chase you.
Correct.
So it sounds like from what you guys are saying that the value is the money matter. You have to become the person of that value to attract that money.
You gotta, man, and value just don't come easy. It come with sleepless nights. It come with, researching. Remember you was asking just now for one word. And my one word is it comes with trust. In season 1, I saw the vision. In season 2, I had to trust Quan with everything he said. And the reason why I had to trust him is because, I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but we have a different age difference, right? But I've been grinding and at it for years, but I had to see what he was seeing. And when I finally saw it and be like, all right, bro, I may not get it today, but I'm gonna figure it out. And trust, bro, look. It took trust. Bro, value comes with all that in the package, and it don't come easy. And a lot of people give up when y'all have the first, you and your business partner have that first disagreement. Oh, nah, hey, all right, hey, let's laugh. Now let's go do what we need to do.
Yeah.
Bro, value, when you get the value, bro, you can get people, your whole life will change. You'll be comfortable sitting in a mansion because you know how many lives you changed that sitting in mansions right next to you.
Talk to him.
Yeah.
I had somebody tell me this quote. They said, if you don't realize your value, then your value has no value.
Yep.
So talk to that man out there who is
Man or woman.
or woman.
We need some more women audiences.
Or woman who's
ladies.
out there who's like searching like, man, what is my what do I bring to the table? And they feel lost and they feel like I'm just here. I'm just existing. What do you say to that person?
What I'll say is get people around you. For so long, man, I was always behind the scene, and we talked about this. I made great money. I had to get somebody behind me and be like, yo, Malcolm, what are you doing? Bro, you made these people millions of dollars, right? He laughing because that's the person that said it. You made these people millions of dollars, and yeah, you straight. But bro, there's no way that you should not be at a whole nother level. Get people behind you that's gonna push you, and they ain't gonna sugarcoat it. And then on the other end, you gotta look at that person in the mirror and package everything you know and put it together and go run with it. Don't be afraid. But you need people. You need a right circle. You need the right circle.
Yeah. Nothing to add on that.
Absolutely. Hey, you need the right circle. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's why I've connected with you guys, right? You guys are the right circle. You're going in the direction I want to go. And another thing is, like, you know, with the podcast and everything, like, what do you guys feel like is next? Like, what's up and coming? Anything that you guys can tell them, like, give them a taste of something that's coming up?
Well, before I say that, and don't be afraid to leave people behind. Those friends, they'll catch up with you. They'll catch up.
The real
but
ones.
be straightforward. Man, you remember we just had. I was
we
bro,
did.
hey, but be real, be genuine, because if you let them know, they'll respect you more if you keep it 100 than not. But what's next, man? I'm excited. We got a lot of events coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this next part is where they're gonna see a difference from like you said with the words. I think the first part was the development, then there was the transition. I think this part is where that collaboration, partnering piece really comes in, because I think at this point we've shown so much value and given so much value away for free. I think now we're transitioning into those other conversations, right? Those conversations that lead to scaling, that lead to brand partnerships, that lead to deals, that lead to sponsorships. I think we're stepping and knocking on the door into that realm, because again,
Free to fee, right?
Right, exactly. And I think what's exciting about that is there's a story here, right? A lot of times, you know, to Malcolm's point, you see people, especially entrepreneurs, they just tell you it's overnight. Like they give you this short cookie cutter picture that it was done overnight. But I think what's so interesting about us is that you can see us from season 1 till this day of not having no visuals. You can see season 2, okay, visuals are good, but they could have did this better, or they could have did that better. You can see it. Now we're stepping into this realm where we actually added a new component called the day in the life. So what we're doing with this piece is we're getting in touch with certain individuals, high network individuals, right, who have either, you know, influence, or they're doing a lot in their space. And what we're doing is we're bringing the cameras. We're doing like an MTV spinoff. Like we're bringing the cameras to their forefront.
Okay.
We're stepping into the day in the life of them. You know, a lot of people say you couldn't walk a mile in my shoes. Well, you know what? How about we take a mile today?
That's
You know
awesome.
what I'm saying?
So
and
that's
I think,
interesting, right there.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be so beneficial, because we're already doing the interview piece, but now we're going through the routine. What do you eat? What do you listen to? Do you work out? Well, you know, what's your faith like? You know, what is your routine to be who you are every day and execute? And I think that's going to add so much more value to people that, I mean, the sky's the limit.
Man, that's phenomenal. Oh, you got something?
I like it. You know me, I'm kind of raw.
Yeah.
So those people that scream that they're the gurus or whatever,
We gonna
for
see.
the audience, what we doing is lifting the curtains and going into their environment, and being able to
shades
see
off.
what it is. What are you doing? Are you real? Are you full of crap? What's up? Like, talk to us. Matter of fact, let's go in your house. Let's go your day. You work out? Let's see your reps.
Yep.
What does that look like?
Yep.
Bro, now we knocking in on those doors.
Yeah.
So development, transition, I would say to unveil.
Sheesh. Man, development, transition, unveil.
Yeah.
Y'all got a lot in store for the world to hear, man. And that's what's incredible. You giving them a new light in this era. Like you said, MTV. We used to love MTV Cribs back in the day.
Yeah, we used to love it.
Because you got a chance to see how these people live, what kind of car they driving, what their house look like, what kind of intricate, amenities they got in the house. They got an elevator, you got this, you got that. And I think it's so dope that we took this concept and now we put it on steroids because it's so relevant and prevalent. Imagine if you seen your future self 10 years from now today. Imagine you could see behind, like you said, unveil, see behind that curtain. Oh, this is how y'all gotta eat. This is how I gotta work out. This is how I gotta be with my family. This is the kind of car I need to drive. This is the tapes I need to listen to. This is the podcast I need to check out. That would exponentially that would take you to a whole nother atmosphere. Because now you're, instead of like, and one thing he says all the time in season 2 that really stuck with me, he pays for people's time. And guess what? We're bringing this value to you free of charge as of right now. We're having some conversations, but as of right now, you're getting all this intrinsic value that you can apply to your life.
Let me ask you guys this question. So out of all those successful people that you've interviewed and been associated with, what do you notice? What are maybe some habits that you notice or behaviors that you guys notice that they do, the 1% do that the 99% don't do?
Great question. You can take this one, Mom.
One of the things that I notice is that they do, before they go out to the masses, they do any and everything to be great at their craft. They, like every single day, they set aside a certain amount of time to work on what they know, and they could have known it for 4 or 5 years. They doing, and then they also, I realized, is each person is collabing with somebody. They're oh, hey, I'm not great in this. Let me collab with some bro. From the Mia, I'll use Mia. She was in WWF or WWE. She's partnered with
The Black Sox.
Black Sox.
Yep.
She does everything in partnership with her gift. She's allowing others to utilize her gift while she utilizes their gift, and they all win. You cannot do it alone. You cannot do it alone. You cannot. And when I noticed that, every single person that have hit that next level, and I could tell me if I'm wrong, but I've seen them collab. And if a person doesn't, they're
ceiling.
Yeah.
Glass ceiling.
Take longer, right?
Yeah.
So and that makes sense, right? Because like Apple, it became the first $1 trillion company.
Yeah.
But what did they do? Hey, we're gonna create this app store. You guys create the app. We're gonna give you 70% of the revenue. We take 30%.
Yeah.
It's a partnership, and boom, now they add $1 trillion+, right?
And a lot of people don't even know this. Apple and Samsung actually partner up in the back. A lot of the cameras that Apple use is Samsung devices.
Yep.
But we argue about what? My phone better. This. Not knowing in the back, they laughing at us.
They both making money.
Yeah.
Come on, let's partner up.
Controversial sales, man.
Well, JL and Quan, which one? Y'all sitting here on a podcast and we just laughing and they don't know that there's a partnership.
Ludacris said, "Are you not entertained?"
Yeah, for real, bro.
Yeah,
all part of the plan.
That's
man.
that's how partnerships work. So like with you guys being partners in this, do you think you could alone have gotten this far this fast?
I would say no, because I would have been, me personally, I would have been more so, like I said, I'm a behaviorist person. Like I only look at behaviors. I feel like in order to drive numbers, it has to be behaviors. But if you don't pay attention to the numbers, you know what I mean? Like I felt, and then I'm one of those individuals that like hey, let's pace a little bit.
Yeah.
And Quan is more so like, hey bro, let's go get it. But we meet in the middle and it works perfect.
Yeah.
I personally don't feel like
Yeah.
We could work with other people, but then you gotta learn, and then like I feel like we just mesh.
Yeah, y'all built that chemistry
we
over
mesh.
time. It just go, right?
Yeah.
We used to talking trash to each other on the basketball court, so it just makes sense. So once it's over, I'm like, bro, I'll let you know I love you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this what it is. I love you. You're my brother. Forget bump blood. This is what it is.
Yeah.
And let's kill it. This is where we're going, bro.
That's what we gonna
So
do.
I'll say no.
Yeah.
I'll say no. And I tried. No, I ain't gonna say that. I was gonna say I tried to. Let me not say it. Yeah.
Patty LaBelle. Yeah. I would say no either, man. I think
Dang.
to his
Can they scratch that out?
nah.
Dang.
Nah, they can't.
I know
they
they
can't.
finna be mad at me. They were like, "What you tried?"
I was. Yeah, he's funny.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm not trying to
Before this, I tried.
I think no. I think to Malcolm's point, numbers. I'm a numbers guy. I like to be able to feel it, touch it. You know what I'm saying? Understand it, because I think that transitions into behavior. But there are some things with behavior that's intangible, right? A lot of people focus on one side of the spectrum, not the other. I think what we do well is we factor both of them, right? Like, yeah, I may say, okay, the numbers are saying this, but he may say, hey, I know what the numbers are saying, but did we ever consider this piece? Now, okay, if the numbers say this, but we add this piece to it, we're looking at something totally brand new. And I think that's where the synergy comes into place, right? Because I can trust that if he's looking at something of value, like, man, it is a perfect example, man. We were managing a guy. And he said, man, you got to say a phrase, because you can't say the specific word. You know what I'm talking about, too. Mm-hmm. He was like, man, you got to say it this particular way, because this way is what attracts people. You can't put it a certain way because you may get flagged, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if I'm looking at the numbers, I'm going to think, oh, it don't matter. The numbers say da-da-da-da because of this topic. But he's like, no, I'm looking into it from an intangible perspective and saying, hey, based off the behavior, we want to be mindful of this. So I think you have that because, again, it's about, when you're doing any partnership, it's about my strengths are your weaknesses are my strengths. If I can cover your 6 and know what you do well, I know you're going to excel, right? It's been times where we've had interviews where, and he said this before, where he'll go right into jokey mode, boom, 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 right? Joke here, joke there, boom. I come from the side. We right back on pace to whatever the conversation is. And I think you need both. I think if you have one or too much, or you have people that are really similar, it doesn't work. But again, you got to also have that mesh where you can agree on some things and disagree. I think conflict is good. And I've said this to him. He's heard me say this a million times. Conflict lets the person you're with know that you care enough to have an opinion on it, right? If you're with someone that's just nonchalant or doesn't care or just agrees with everything, they don't care enough about it because they're not looking for you to get better or challenge you. They're just going with the flow. And that's not something I would want. So, no, I would say, no, you need both.
And there are times that I'm laughing. I shouldn't be laughing on camera.
It's funny.
There are times that we both, one of us was like, hey, let's go ahead and manage this person. One of us be like, no, the energy,
Yep.
whatever. But then we end up like, all right, bro, you believe? I'm gonna give it what I give it. I'm gonna give everything. Mm-hmm. But you gotta have someone that, even when you feel like, when you totally feel they're wrong, you just be real, like, bro. Like, there's times I've said, and he said, nah. But there's times I'm iffy or he's iffy, and we like, all right, and we go in it, and then we come back to the drawing table, like, bruh. Bruh.
Literally.
Bruh. Thank you, bruh. Bruh, how do we rip this contract?
Yo.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's dope. Yeah. So I like what you guys were saying, though, as far as just everything is about partnerships and about having the right mentality for the money, for the success.
Yeah.
And I think if people really read between the lines and really understand, like, look, let me change first.
All right.
Let me become this person. I can have that money mindset to become the 1%. But it's not going to be overnight.
Correct.
Obviously, right? It's going to take time and effort, but what they say, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. Second best time is now.
Right.
So you guys are listening to this now. It doesn't matter when you catch this. A year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. If you haven't started anything, now is the time to start and be great because they're laying out the foundation. They're interviewing the people who may be behind the scenes or have the information that we don't have. So talk about that, guys. Do you think the main reason why people are not in the 99%, is it the knowledge, like the actual information about it, or is it more so is it laziness or is it arrogance where they don't even want to learn it? Talk to me about that. What do you guys think?
Great question, dude. Great question.
It's I feel like it's a mixture, but like for us, we bring, especially in season 2, we bring individuals from different industries, but the common thing that everyone has is they started from somewhere and they grew, right? But most individuals that watch our podcast, they skip through. They don't want to listen to the grit and hustle. Okay, what did you do to get this trucking company? What did you do to get this credit company? What did you do to get where now you have your fitness and all those? They skip through the hell. They skip and they fast forward because time. Oh, well, I need to go watch my show. The game is on. Or I need to go this and this. They skip through, but these people are telling you the blueprint of what it takes, and that blueprint. And I could tell me if I'm wrong. Everybody's blueprint actually was the same. They struggled. They went through a lot. They lost. They had to figure out a blueprint that made sense for them. They built on it. They kept going. They actually lost again in the process. They never gave up. They kept going, and now they're at a point where now they can sit back and they got a whole team that's working for them. Nothing's given to you, but we skip through, just like you skip through the YouTube and go to how did they get there. They skip through life wishing that, oh, I want it, and they never do. It's always, today I want it, tomorrow I don't. Today I want it, tomorrow I don't. And if you do that with popcorn in the microwave every 2 seconds, you'll never get a popcorn. You'll never watch the movie. You'll never be able to eat.
That's powerful. If you do that with 2 seconds and stop it. And so that reminds me of consistency.
Bro.
Yeah.
They have it.
They
don't have it.
And is consistency being able to do the same things every day for a long period of time, or is it being able to do most of the same things every day?
No, it's doing the same thing every time and not getting the result you thought you was gonna get, and still keep staying consistent with it. It's like going to the gym. If you go to the gym day 1, it sucks, it hurts, you don't want to do it no more. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna go Wednesday. Okay, you go Wednesday. Now you don't put as much effort on maybe your arms. You don't care about your arms. The problem with that is you don't have enough discipline. When you remain consistent is when results show. If you're in and out, you don't have any foundation. That's like, I used to lay cement, right? One of my side jobs when I was a teenager, I used to lay cement. If I tried to go through the process, like, okay, today, so when you're doing cement, it's 3 processes typically. You get your cement, you get your mortar, you get your sand, and you mix it with water. If I skip one of those things, the cement, the foundation is not going to be solid, right? It's the same thing with business and life. If you skip over the consistency steps and the disciplines, you won't be able to get to your destination. Your foundation will be fragile because you don't have enough compound discipline established to propel yourself.
So what is the cure for inconsistency?
So the cure, dang, what a question.
Yo.
So I love what he said, and I love that question because that goes into this. A lot of people, they look at consistency, and let's just use the gym like he was using already, right? They go in and they go say they do biceps. Their biceps are hurting. So then the next day they come in and they're like, well, dang, I'm in so much pain that I don't want to do biceps again. No, listen, you have to have a structured consistency schedule. And what I mean by that is a lot of times we go and we're like, oh, I'm going to do content, a bunch of content nonstop. No, you got to have it laid out. You got to do biceps one day, legs one day, chest one day. You got to be able to balance it out so that you don't get too tired or too pain or too distracted or whatever. When it comes to consistency, we look at it and we're like, oh, do the same thing. It's really not the same thing. You just got to have a consistent schedule. And what I mean, like, you got to be able to do content. You got to be able to network the next day, follow up the next day, boom. And then Monday come around, network, but that's where they miss. That's the key component because they don't know how to spread out what they're doing to get to that next level. We don't do podcasts every day. We do events. We do different things. It's spread out so that this doesn't get too draining.
Yeah.
Because if you do the same thing over and over and over, just like, what is that? It's not P90X. It's another one. And people are like, yo, I'm tired of it because every day it's the same thing. No, you got to let one muscle rest while the other muscles start to work. You're consistently in the gym, but what are you doing while you're in the gym? Got to switch up.
Now, I got a great follow-up with that. Now, as far as consistency and days-wise, think like days, right? Is there a threshold to where, if I make it 21 days now, I can say I'm consistent?
No.
I make it 90 days, I can say I'm consistent.
If you're in love with what you're doing and you're in love with the process, you don't count the days.
Yeah, you count the days, you're going to fail anyway.
Yeah, because now you're mentally already psyched out because now you have an end goal in mind. But then what happens after that once you get to quote unquote that 90 days and you don't have the body that you want being in the gym? Are you gonna quit now?
Yeah, they will.
That's the problem. You don't put a date. You just go and you say, hey, I'm gonna work on getting better a little bit every day. There is no end goal. And then people ask me, why do you go to the gym so much? I'm like, because I'm training. I stole this from my friend. I'm training for life. There is no goal in mind.
Yeah, I remember saying that.
There is no goal.
And I read a book, Atomic Habits. It says the goals they're cool, they're kind of important, but the systems are more important.
Yeah.
It's not everybody has a goal to win an NBA championship.
Right.
Everybody's not gonna get that goal.
Correct.
Right? So who's the team that's gonna put in the most work and have the most chemistry and actually build the system that's gonna get them to that point?
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
So that makes perfect sense.
A lot of people don't have it, bro. They just want that 90 days. Oh, I was a vegan for 90 days. I was like, I get it. Congratulations, because a lot of people couldn't do it. But why you making it a 91?
Right.
Why are you making it a 92?
You didn't plan that far ahead. Short-sighted.
Or what's after the 90 day?
Yeah.
So now that you're a vegan, what's after? Oh, so 90 days, now I'm going to lift weight. Like, what's after? Because once it's over, then guess what you do? Go back and eat, gain weight, do everything else again.
Yeah. Now, I got another question for you guys, because a lot of people,
closing question, yeah.
They like they're doing the process or they don't stay committed for whatever reason. But as far as them not doing it, like I ask myself all the time, like if I said I'm gonna do something I didn't do, I'm like, why didn't I do that? And I know it's gonna help me, right? Mm-hmm. So what do you guys think as far as people who don't do what they say they're gonna do? Mm-hmm. How do you think that impacts? Do you think they're scared of their success?
That can be a case. I know I have family members that was the exact case, but I'll close out with this, man. This is a great interview. And I know we're doing a phenomenal job, but I will say this, as we go into closing, you don't care about what you're doing enough. Because if you really cared about it enough, you would, and you really believe that what you're doing could change your family's life or the people that's connected to your life, you wouldn't be able to sleep without doing something that's attributed to what you're chasing or what you're trying to build or develop. If you cared enough, it would bother you. Like this, and Mom would tell. It's been time. I'll text him 3 a.m. Dude, I had this great idea. He won't respond, but it's the fact that it's up in here. He probably read it the next morning. Matter of fact, we did it today. He'll get it and then be like, "Oh, what you do? I mean, see where you going. Where you going with this?" But in my mind is like and he mentioned it earlier. We have an age gap, but I take it personal, because I care so much. I want to see my family thrive. I want to see his family thrive. I want to see your family thrive. I owe it to you guys now. I owe it to your future selves. And I tell Moses, man, I'm not going to stop until we on a jet somewhere with our families having a good little time laughing about everything we went through in this moment. But I say that to say I care enough that I can't sleep without doing something. I've gone to the point where it feels weird. It's weird for me to sit and not do nothing for a day. I can't take a day off. I'm like, what am I doing? What's my 20-year-old daughter gonna think? What's my nephew gonna think at 20 years old? Oh man, I took that day off, man. We could have been in Fiji 2 years ago, but he took that. He was tired that one day. You know what I mean? You gotta think like that. You really gotta be delusional in your belief in what you're doing in order to make it. Honestly,
man, that's phenomenal.
I agree 100%. I feel like fear. A lot of people don't have fear; they have anxiety. And I get this from Myron. Fear is one of those things that's more so, hey, don't go down there. There's people that's gonna do something to you. Hey, you fear to go down there, but you understand. But when it comes to certain things like, oh, let me wake up and grind, let me do this, it's anxiety. Something happened in your early childhood that made you lazy, complacent, or made you what if phase, that when it comes to hard work, you don't do it. Or you saw certain people that did it and it didn't work out. A failing has impacted. So people don't have fear. They got anxiety, and they got to get over those anxiety moments in order to get to that moment of success.
Yeah.
Wow, man. If you care enough, you create enough. Yeah. Man, so look, there you have it. The Knuckleheads just gave you guys a bunch of information, man. Make sure you guys go subscribe to the YouTube channel, to KH Podcast. And on every social media platform, make sure you guys tap in. Season 3 is going to be so incredible.
Phenomenal.
That you guys do not want to miss it. And you want to take notes, take action, and tell a friend who you want to see win. I'm J.O. the Genius. I'm your host for today. And I appreciate my brothers for giving me the opportunity.
Let's go. If you're not on season 3, I don't know where you at. Because season 3 is about to be crazy.
Yeah, and that's the pod. I don't got nothing to say after that.
Well, how many houses we about to go in?
Listen, man.
Knock. It's the Knucklehead Podcast.
Coming to a house near you. All right.